Good afternoon, Nzinga, and to our viewers. The latest is still the battle for power, and of course, that being the top position, the mayoral position. We're expecting to see the Tshwane councillors vote in a new mayor tomorrow. But before then, it seems like another fight is brewing, and that is the multi-party coalition that wants to get rid of the speaker. But the EFF and ANC bloc are saying that the city manager that convened or is going to convene today's meeting, special council sitting at around 3 o'clock, and that, of course, Metler, they're saying he does not have the powers to do so. They also feel that he did not follow the law to the T. Selby Bukaba, who is the Tshwane spokesperson, is here to just bring matters into perspective as to what is happening. Why has the city manager, Johan Metler, convened this afternoon's special council sitting here at Tshwane House in the heart of Pretoria? Thank you so much for joining us. The criticism from the EFF, the ANC, them saying that the city manager, Johan Metler, did not have the grounds or do not have the power to convene this afternoon's meeting. Can you maybe tell us on what grounds did he do so?
Well, thanks for the opportunity. The Act is very clear. And the Act prescribes that if you invoke Section 29, subsection 1, when a petition is written to the Speaker of Council to convene a meeting, you have to satisfy that, you have to satisfy a quorum. In other words, there has to be about 108 councillors who append their signatures to call for that meeting. That petition goes to the Speaker of Council. The Speaker of Council is obliged to call council.
Was that supposed to be last week, Friday then?
The date did change to Monday. Initial one was on Friday. And we now know that the Speaker did not call the meeting for Friday. And then there was a further request for the meeting to be convened today at 3 p.m. The city manager engaged extensively with the Speaker about this request from the multi-party coalition members. And the city manager, in terms of the law, if the Speaker refuses to call the meeting, the city manager has to step in and convene this meeting. So what the city manager basically did was to comply with the law. Had he refused to do that, he would have been in contravention of the law.
Did the Speaker, Mncedi Ndzwanana, refuse to convene the meeting? Do you have that on record?
Well, he did not convene the meeting.
So it's technical.
Well, it's not technical. It's not technical. The city manager engaged with him extensively, and the Speaker did not convene the meeting. And failure to convene the meeting, unless if you know of a meeting that was convened today. Because the law stipulates that the requester of the meeting tells you the date and the time. And if they satisfy all the requirements, you are compelled to convene that meeting, which is what the requesters of the meeting did to the Speaker. And as we sit here now at 12:05, the Speaker has not convened a meeting for today. Therefore, the burden or the responsibility falls on the shoulders of the city manager in terms of the law, not what he likes or what he doesn't like.
It's about following the law.
He is compelled by law to convene this meeting if the Speaker refuses or does not. So I don't want us to get into the argument of did he refuse, did he not refuse, where is the refusal in writing. Fact of the matter is the Speaker did not convene a meeting and the city manager convened that meeting.
This meeting is resting on the shoulders of the 108 signatures to petition the Speaker last week. Do we have proof? Does the City of Tshwane, did the city manager do the necessary research, investigations to verify each signature? Because there is that issue as well, where they're saying, but that process did not take place. Those signatures can easily be forged.
Well, that's another technical issue. The councillors have taken an oath of office. And therefore, the city manager has got no reason to doubt their bona fides. If a political party or political parties represented in council send a petition to the city manager and append their signatures, it's not the duty of the city manager to go and verify their signatures. It has never happened before.
But Mr. Bukaba, with all the shenanigans that we have seen playing out here in the capital city, surely the issue of trust can no longer be gambled with. We saw Muruna Makwarela, who was voted in, and everyone thought that the man was legit, and look how that ended up leaving the city of Tshwane in more instability and in a state of huge embarrassment. So should the officials, the city manager, not this time around try to be more careful, more sensitive about how matters are handled?
Well, we should be careful not to turn the accounting officer into the investigating officer. It is not his duty to do that. Now, if anyone has forged their signature, they would be committing crime. And it is not for the city manager to stop somebody from committing crime. His responsibility would be to report someone who has committed crime. And if it comes to his attention that there's a possibility of somebody having forged their signature, then the city manager, if such evidence comes to his attention, he will report this matter to law enforcement, the same way he did with former Speaker and Executive Mayor Dr. Makwarela.
Just the issue around the adjustments budget. We understand that there's another extension granted to the city of Tshwane. And can you also maybe just respond to how the city of Tshwane views the correspondence from Gauteng under, of course, the acting MEC for Kokta, who has asked the speaker to explain why there is still no mayor? Of course, we understand that they wrote to him, but it does spell perhaps bigger things to come. How does the city of Tshwane view this? And also just explain a little bit more about that extension.
Unfortunately, I do not speak on behalf of the Speaker. I think that question should be redirected to the office of the Speaker.
All right, and the issue of the extension, if you can explain that to us?
Well, yes, we really appreciate and welcome the extension granted to us by the Gauteng Provincial Treasury. We are the ones that wrote to them and requested that the matter of the adjustment budget, the extension thereto, be extended to the 24th of April. We were granted that initially, and when it became apparent that there was no way, with all these shenanigans that have been happening in council, that there was absolutely no way that we were going to meet the deadline of Friday the 24th, we then engaged with Treasury again, and they responded favorably to our request and granted us the extension until the 14th of April. So two things are going to happen on the 14th. It is this adjustment budget that has to be approved by council, but we'll also use the opportunity to pass the budget for the 2023-2024 financial year. So it's two things that have to happen, and it's this undertaking that we have made to the provincial treasury.
All right, thank you so much. And both those budgets obviously go to the heart of service delivery here in the capital city. And we already can hear how the complaints are simmering on the ground from residents who are concerned as the developments are happening here at council, of course, as the politicians are fighting for power. Later this afternoon, we'll see whether the speaker will survive to fight another day, or will this be the end of a very short reign for him as council speaker? Of course, for now, we toss it back to studio.